The Ashford estate sat like a castle at the edge of Seattle, encased in mist and silence. But inside those gleaming walls of wealth and brilliance lived a truth that the world never saw. Truth that haunted James Ashford every single day. A genius in software engineering and investments. James had built a tech empire before turning 30, but success came at a price. He lost his wife during childbirth. And ever since, his world had narrowed down to one thing. His son, Caleb, 17 years old, bright, witty, and paralyzed from the waist down. A drunk driver had slammed into them on the way to a science competition 2 years ago. James walked away with a concussion. Caleb never walked again. "I don't want to go," Caleb muttered. His voice was low, distant, as James gently fixed the collar of his shirt. You haven't even met them yet. James replied softly. "Just brunch, that's all it is." You paid them, didn't you? Caleb asked, half joking, half bitter. James froze. "No, I didn't. I found a foundation, one that brings people together who've been through things that's it." Caleb looked down at his motionless legs. "Dad, I'm tired of being someone's learning experience." James didn't know how to respond. So, he knelt down. "I level with his son. You are not a lesson, Caleb, you're a gift. And anyone who doesn't see that doesn't deserve to sit across from you." Caleb didn't answer. He just looked out the window. The event took place at a hidden garden cafe in downtown Seattle, reserved entirely for them. James had spared no detail. Custom floral arrangements, discreet staff, soft music. 5 girls had agreed to participate, each having signed up through the Open Hearts program, a network that introduced young adults with disabilities to peers for genuine friendships and maybe something more. Each girl was given a simple instruction: greater than if you feel something real, bring him a single flower. James never told Caleb. The first girl arrived right on time. Blonde, smiling, clearly well prepared. She asked Caleb about his condition, his therapy, his chair, but not once about him. Caleb nodded along, gave polite answers. She left, without a flower. The second was more curious. She even made him laugh once. But when Caleb adjusted in his chair and it squeaked, she flinched. Just slightly. But he saw it. The third girl never showed. The fourth was fun, talkative, bubbly, complimented his style. But when she left her phone behind by mistake, James saw a message flash across the screen. Greater than getting those points for college apps. Almost done. Followed by a laughing emoji. No flower. She arrived late. A plain yellow dress, canvas bag slung over her shoulder, chestnut hair tied in a messy braid, and in her hand a daisy. She walked past the servers, past the security, and directly to Caleb. Not to James, not to the staff, not even to the empty chair across from him. She knelt. "Hi," she said softly. "You looked like someone who might understand what this means." She gently laid the flower on his lap. Caleb stared at it, stunned. "You're the only one," he finally said. She tilted her head. "The only what?" "The only one who brought a flower." She smiled. "Some things don't need explanations." And then, she sat down. For the next hour, Caleb forgot he was in a wheelchair. They talked about art, music, poetry. Sophie asked him what made him angry, what made him laugh, what kept him awake at night. She told him about growing up in Spokane, working 2 part-time jobs, and sketching portraits for kids in the cancer ward. When he asked why she came, she said, "Because I wanted to meet someone real, and because someone once brought me a flower when I needed it." James sat at a distance, watching. He'd seen many faces come and go in his son's life, but never this expression. Not since before the accident. Later that night, driving home, Caleb said something he hadn't said in years. She didn't see the chair. James didn't speak. His hands tightened on the wheel. She saw me, Dad, Caleb whispered. "Just me." James exhaled, his throat thick. "That's all I ever wanted for you, son." But back home, in the quiet darkness of his office, James began digging, not because he didn't trust her, but because he wanted to. He was a father, and fathers check. What he found left him frozen. Sophie, Elizabeth Hart, age 18, studying art therapy. Attended Roosevelt Middle School in Spokane. Injured in a car accident at age 12, wheelchair-bound for nearly 18 months. And in her hospital logbook, one strange, unexplainable note. Greater than boy with brown eyes, left Daisy on windowsill. Never got his name. Gave me hope. James dropped his glass. It was Caleb. Back at the cafe. Sophie sat alone, staring at a single petal left in her hand. She hadn't told Caleb. She wasn't sure she ever would. But she remembered him. The boy who limped down the hallway, with his backpack slung to one side. The boy who never said a word, but left a flower on her windowsill. Every Tuesday, for a year, and now here he was. Changed, older, wounded, brave, asterisk still the same. He sat by the window in his room, holding the daisy Sophie had given him, turning it over in his hand like it held a secret code. The petals were already curling, fragile, but to him, it felt like it still pulsed with life. Asterisk James watched from the doorway, silently, knowing this was no ordinary girl. He had seen plenty of people smile at his son, but Sophie had seen him past the chair, past the limp hands and the bitter quiet, into the person he once was, and still could be. Asterisk, but James couldn't ignore what he'd found the night before. Sophie's hospital records, the flower on her windowsill, the anonymous boy, it was Caleb. It had to be, and yet, she hadn't told him. Asterisk why? Asterisk that evening, James asked to meet Sophie privately at the same garden cafe. She came, slightly nervous but composed. Asterisk, I wanted to thank you. James began. Sophie blinked, surprised, for seeing my son when the world just walks past him. Asterisk, she smiled. Gently, I didn't do anything special. Asterisk, you did, James said. You brought him a flower. Asterisk, she looked down. That was, a memory. Asterisk, and so she told him about the accident. About the endless days in the hospital. The pain, the fear, and the boy. He never spoke to me. Just left a flower every week. And for some reason, started drawing again. James was silent for a long time. Sophie, that boy was Caleb. Asterisk, she gasped. Her hands flew to her mouth. Asterisk, James continued. He never told anyone. I only found out last night. Asterisk, Sophie stood slowly, breath shaky. I didn't come here to find him. I didn't know. Until I saw his eyes. And even then, I wasn't sure. Asterisk, why didn't you tell him? Asterisk, tears formed in her eyes. Because I didn't want him to think it was some fairy tale. I wanted to know him now, not chase some ghost of the past. Asterisk, James nodded, then tell him, when you're ready. Asterisk, but the world has a cruel habit of breaking beauty before it blossoms. Asterisk, the very next morning, Caleb's photo with Sophie beside him went viral. A headline read, greater than tech billionaire's son caught on secret date with mystery girl. Another read, greater than gold digger or guardian angel. Who is the girl who won the Ashford Air? Asterisk, Sophie's social media exploded with hateful comments. News vans parked near her dorm. Old classmates reached out, assuming she was rich now. Even her employer received anonymous calls warning them about her kind. Caleb was devastated. She didn't ask for this. He snapped at his father. Asterisk, I know. Asterisk, it's because of me. Asterisk, no, James said firmly. It's because people fear what they don't understand, and envy what they'll never have. Asterisk, Caleb stared down at his useless legs. Maybe they're right. Why would someone like her want someone like me? James felt something crack in his chest. He reached for the daisy Caleb had dried and pressed into a frame the night before. Asterisk, because once, you saved her life. You gave her hope, and now, she's giving it back. Asterisk, Caleb looked up, shocked. James told him everything. The hospital, the flower on the windowsill, the girl who started drawing again. Caleb's face went still. I remember, he whispered. She used to cry at night. I thought the flowers might help her sleep. Asterisk, James placed the frame in his son's lap. You helped her heal, now, let her help you live. Asterisk, 2 weeks later, Caleb attended an art show downtown anonymously. In a hoodie, wheeling himself through the back entrance. Sophie had invited him. Once, then again. No pressure. Just a quiet, written invitation. Asterisk, greater than you brought color into my world. Come see how I tried to return it. Asterisk, the gallery was small, simple, but on every wall hung pieces that screamed with emotion, paintings of pain, joy, confusion, silence, resilience. He rolled slowly through each one, overwhelmed. Asterisk, then, he saw it. Asterisk, a painting titled Daisy. Asterisk, it was a boy in a wheelchair, surrounded by soft yellow light, holding a flower, not staring at it, offering it. The caption read, greater than to the boy who saved me when I was broken, you are still whole. Asterisk, Sophie found him after the show. No cameras, no audience, just two people in a quiet corner. Asterisk, I didn't know it was you, she said first. Not until halfway through that brunch. Asterisk, I didn't know I was the reason you kept going. Caleb said quietly. They sat in silence for a while. Do you ever think about the what-ifs? He finally asked. If the accident never happened, if we'd met in some other way. Asterisk, I used to, she said, but now, I think we found each other exactly how we were meant to. He looked down, then reached into his lap. Another daisy, this time, he brought the flower. I remembered, asterisk, she smiled, through tears, and leaned forward, gently resting her forehead against his. Asterisk,